This lesson is on standard form and writing linear equations in standard form. Let's look at the formula. So standard form of a linear equation is ax plus by equals c. There's some specific guidelines to what a, b, and c can be. A must be a whole number, so no negatives. And B and C, they both must be integers. Must be integers. So nothing should be a fraction, and A should not be a negative. Okay? So example 1 says transform each equation into standard form. This first equation, A, is in slope-intercept form. So to transfer it, we're going to need to get rid of the denominator and rearrange our formula. So what I'm going to do is we're going to scoot your foldable up here, and we're going to write our directions. Just make a little dot, a little line. And we're going to write our directions for what to do, and we'll kind of do it side by side. So from y equals mx plus b to ax plus by equals c. Okay, our b's are different. It's not the same thing anymore. We're talking about the intercept, and we're talking about different numbers. But we have a couple of things. If there is a fraction, we're going to multiply by the denominator. And let's start there. So I have, my denominator is 4. I'm multiplying the whole thing by 4. So, and it's like I'm distributing. Okay, 4 times y is 4y. And it equals 4 times 1/4. 4 times 1 is 4, divided by 4 is 1, so it's just x. And 4 times -3 is -12. So far, so good, except for I need x to be in front, I need the y to be next, and it needs to equal the c or that constant. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it down so I have my notes, so I know what I'm doing. Move x to the left of equal sign. Move the x to the left of the equal sign. Let's see how to do that. How can I move this x away from this? It's a positive x, so I'm going to subtract x. So I'm left with, now remember x has to be in the front, so -x plus 4y equals, I'm left with -12. Now let's see if we're done. Is a whole number, so no negative? No. So we're going to have to get rid of this negative, and we do that by, it's like it's being multiplied by -1, so we're going to divide both sides by -1. Negative divided by a negative is a positive x. Positive divided by a negative is a -4y. And it is equal to a positive 12. So I do have those things straight. So 3. If x is negative, divide everything on both sides by -1. Okay? Now, let's look at the next example. We have B is in point slope form. Well, to do that, the first thing that we're going to need to do is distribute my slope. So let's write this down too. Let's put from, y minus y1, mx minus x1, and we're going to ax plus by equals c. So the first thing we did, distribute the slope. And let's look at that. Distributing the slope, y minus 4 equals 3x plus 6. Good. Now I'm going to, if I had a fraction, now would not quite be the time to get rid of it. Let's get rid of this 4 first. So to do that, we're essentially putting this point slope form into slope intercept form. So move everything to slope intercept form. And to do that, what I'm doing is adding 4. I cannot combine a 4 and a 3x because they are not like terms. So I have 3x plus 10. And now I know that I can put my slope-intercept form in standard form. So my rule 3, or my step 3, is to follow y equals mx plus b rules. So now, do I have a fraction? You'd multiply by the denominator, then move the x, and then if there's a negative, divide it out. So, I don't have a fraction, so I'm going to move over the x. Negative 3x plus y equals 10. I got to divide out the -1. So I'm going to write it up here. I have 3x minus y equals -10. This negative canceled out, this made it a negative, and that made the 10 a negative. Okay, so then writing equations. We gotta step this pace up, the video is getting a little long. So let's write the equation in standard form. First thing I want you to do is write the equation in slope-intercept form and then change it over. So finding the slope, going rise 2 and left 3. So run is -3. And then I have my y-intercept. So my slope is -2/3. My intercept is at -1. So y equals -2/3 x minus 1. And then we're moving it over again. Get rid of that denominator by multiplying. So 3y equals -2x minus 3. I just distributed to everything. and I'm going to move over the x by adding 2x. So I have 2x plus 3y equals -3. I do not have x as a negative, so I do not need to divide to get rid of the negative because it already is a negative. That is point slope form. Keep going. Rise over run. 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, run, 5. My intercept, 1, 2, 3. B is at +3. So y equals 1/5 x plus 3. So I put it in slope-intercept form first, and then I'm going to change it over. Get rid of the 5. Distribute 5y equals 1x, or just x, plus 15. Subtract over x. -x plus 5y equals 15. And divide out a -1. X minus 5y, which is just changing all the signs, is -15. And the last one, quickly graphing. What you're going to do is, these are given to you in standard form. You're going to put them in slope-intercept form and graph them, since we know everything about slope-intercept form. So I'm moving to 3x, so -6y equals -3x plus 18. Solving for y, divide by -6. So y equals -3 over -6 is a +1/2, and 18 divided by -6 is a -3. And then you can graph it. Start at -3, rise 1, run 2, rise 1, run 2. I know this is going quick, but we're still going. Again, slope-intercept form is where I want it to go. I'm going to subtract x because I'm solving for y. 4y equals -x plus 12. And then divide everything by 4. Y equals this is like a -1, so -1/4 x. You can't simplify it. Don't leave it as a decimal. Leave it as a fraction because we're going to do rise over run. And 12 divided by 4 is a +3. So start at +3, go down 1 and right 4, or up 1 and left 4. And you can connect your dots to draw your line. And that is the lesson on standard form.